Hi, I'm Mariella, co-founder of Stage Talent Academy. I'm also an international pianist and performer and mother to two lovely children. One of the questions I get asked the most as a teacher, mainly by parents, is how do I get my child to practice? I've been asked this so many times that I really thought I would do a short video or write it down somewhere and give it to everybody so it helps. As a teacher, I will tell you what I think. I will also tell you as a parent what worked for me and my two children. And depending on the age of the children, this will change, okay? And you may have to adapt this. It helps if you have an instrument. There are a lot of people that say, well, I have a little piano. Really, if you want them, we are trying to encourage good habits. So it helps if you start as you mean to go on. So in this case, make sure that you have the correct instrument. Pianos with weighted keys, if you're going to go for an electric one, make sure it's got weighted keys. It does help. So then it's responding to if you play loud or soft, you get a reaction with your piano, right, you can get those. That's number one. Make sure that you place the instrument in the center, ideally in the center of your living room. Music should be part of your life. If you've chosen to do music, if your child likes music and they've chosen to do music, don't tuck it away somewhere in a bedroom, because then it will feel like a punishment when it's time to practice. If you're saying to your child, right, off you go to your room and do your practice. That doesn't sound like fun. That just sounds like they've just been banned, from the living room. And there's the rest of you having fun playing games or, I don't know, watching a fun film or something. And then you're like, this child now is excluded from their family and off you go and do your practice. So I find if you have the piano in the center of your living room or somewhere where you all hang together as a family, that's the big plus. That's the first rule. Then when they play the piano, they're having fun and you are there, you're listening to them, you're enjoying it with them, you could all be doing your activity, but they are not excluded from you. So the music is an inclusive thing that it brings people together, it doesn't separate them. Okay, that's rule number one. Have a proper instrument and have it in the center of wherever you hang together as a family, be it kitchen or dining room or living room. It has to be somewhere where you hang together as a family. As your child gets older and they want the privacy, they might ask if they could then move their instrument to their room. That's fine, that's a different story, because they might want to spend more time with it, or they might want to move it to a quieter place. It's completely fine. This will be their choice, and that's a different situation. You can then move on to that step. But when you are starting at the beginning, make sure that you make it part of your family, okay? Piano shouldn't have to compete with TV, okay? So if someone is playing the piano, make sure your TV is off, okay? If you have other children, you can encourage them to do something at the same time as your other child is doing their piano practice. And that way, every person is doing something different. Now, what I found that really helps is to have a routine, like a structure to your week or to your day. So consistency, really, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I have a lot of parents that come and say, yeah, my child really wants to learn piano. And then I find myself asking the question, okay, but do you actually have time for it? Does your child have time for this? This is quite important. Okay, I have children that are so busy with their lives. They're doing brownies one day, then they go swimming the next day, then they usually like learning a foreign language. They're in a club doing this, and then the next one is scouts, and then they have, I don't know, some other volunteering thing that they're doing, and then I say to them, but when are you going to practice piano? And they say, oh yeah, Saturday. I think I can do it on Saturday. And as lovely as it is to see this enthusiasm that they have, realistically, I believe if you're going to do this, take it seriously from the beginning, okay? You need to have time. You may want to do it, but if you don't have time for this, then it's not going to work. Then your child is going to start something that they will be forced to give up, and they will end up feeling like a failure. And actually, it's not their fault at all. The only reason it wouldn't have worked is because they didn't have time to practice it. And if they don't have the time to practice it, again, through no fault of their own, they're never going to get good at it. How could they possibly get good at it if they're not spending any time with it? But they don't know that. They're just going to think, oh yeah, I tried music, I tried piano, and I was not good at it. Not true, okay? So as a parent, you help to plan your child's structure and activities. So think, if you really want to take up music, really seriously think if you have the time. I would ideally like to see children practice it every day, but a minimum of 5 days a week, 5 times a week. And it's not the sort of thing that you can squeeze in, oh, well, we have 5 minutes, so yeah, let's do the piano. No, really, this is an enjoyable activity. It's like another form of meditation. So they mustn't be rushed. They should have the time to sit and to play and to let the music take over and spend as much time as they need with this. Okay? So do ask yourself this question if you have time. So if you have the time, then you have the instrument. You find the right teacher for you. That's the next step. Okay, having a right teacher that will inspire your child is so important. It can make or break, really. And there's no right or wrong answer here. I hear people say, oh, they were a good teacher, they were a bad teacher. I really don't think that there is such thing. Your child will have a unique personality, and therefore you need to find a teacher with a unique personality or a teaching methodology that will match that of your child's, and they will click together and they will work. Yes, that's what you are looking for. So try lots of different teachers if possible. Go on taster sessions, ask if you can try a taster session, and then let your child decide together with you which is the one that works with you. You need someone though that is going to be consistent. I find that consistency, especially with children, the younger they are, the more important it is. They need some structure, and they need someone that's not going to cancel at the last minute, that will be there with them, that will follow some sort of routine with their lessons, so then they know what to expect, but that's also, unpredictable enough so that the children are not getting bored and they are having fun. Okay, so experiment with teachers. Ask your teachers about their experience. That's not always everything. You don't need to have a lot of experience to make you a good teacher, but you do need to have that passion and that love to make you a good teacher. Next is theory. A lot of parents are not musicians, and they just say, I just want my child is expressed an interest in music and I want them to learn. Fine, okay. Ask yourself though, what do you actually really want? Do you want to take this seriously, or do you just want them to have a little bit of fun? Either way, I believe very firmly that theory, like learning how to read music, how to write music, understanding the concepts of music, is important, and it should be implemented from day one. Okay, so your teacher ideally would give you a lesson that is long enough that you would cover some theory elements, you might have some homework, as well as technique like getting the fingers to move up, and pieces to help you play. So you've got your instrument, it's in your center of your house, you've realized that you have enough time, or your child has enough time to practice, and you now have your teacher. Next step, draw a timetable. Sit down with your child, no matter what age, and you can do this each year as they go into a new school year, their timetable changes. And you ask them and you say, what time shall we practice piano on Mondays? Sit down with them, write it down, put it in their chart. It could be that it's Mondays from 4 until 5 or 4 until 4:30. And it could be that Tuesdays you can't practice, but you have lots of time on Wednesdays. And Wednesdays you're going to start at, 5 o'clock, not 4 o'clock. Saturdays you will be able to start at 9 o'clock in the morning, not in the afternoon. Decide with your child, write these timings down, so then as a parent you set an alarm for them. Most of us have phones, we have technology nowadays, or the children have alarm clocks that they keep with them, and then the alarm should just say piano. So when it's time for them to do their piano, because they have been part of it with you, they helped to decide what time they're going to practice. When the alarm goes off, you just say, darling, that's your alarm. Ideally, you wouldn't need to say anything, because the kids will just hear it and go, oh, it's my piano time, it's my practice time. And they will get up by themselves and they will go and do the practice. This is so important. Otherwise, you will just turn into one of those parents that just nags and nags and nags. And also, perhaps without realizing or without wanting to, you might turn the whole thing into a punishment. Like every time they do something you don't want them to do, you say, don't you have some piano practice to do? Yeah, go and do your piano. then the children will start to associate it with negative feelings, and we don't want that. You want the child to be in control and take over and do what they need to do. Okay, so important. Set a timetable with them. This might change each week, that's fine, but do it at the beginning of the week. How is this week looking? Set that timetable with them and then help them. Once the alarm goes, you just say, hey, I think your alarm has just gone off for piano. Okay, and then it will be easy. Once you've settled this, when they're practicing, I find what most children want is a little bit of positive attention from their parents, at least when they're starting out. They like it that their parents hang with them or listen to them play. And I hear parents saying, but I don't have the time to do this. I don't know if I have the time to do this. Well, you do, really, if you think about it. You could be cooking in the kitchen. That is why I go back to my first point. Place the piano where you hang together as a family the most, because that way, say you have a kitchen with a dining table in it and the piano is there, it's fine. You can get one of your children doing their homework or doing reading whilst you might be doing some cooking or some work yourself on your laptop, and your other child is practicing their piano, and you just be there with them. They just want you to be there, and you say, that sounded nice, darling. Well done, keep going. They just need positive encouragement, nothing more. Yes? So if you're sitting with them, then you just say, what did your teacher ask you to practice this week? It does help if the teacher has given you a practice notebook as opposed to relying on the child remembering everything themselves. Then you can just read and say, oh, it says to start with warm-ups. Let's do our warm-ups. And then when they do it, you don't say anything. You do your thing. At the end, you say, that sounded lovely. Well done. What have you got next? And they say, oh, I've got scales, my technical work, or broken chords or arpeggios. You say, okay, let's hear it. And they're playing and you're just there. That's all you need to do. Once they start to doing grades, like exams, graded exams, with things like scales, I find it really helps, because they have to do more than one scale. It really helps if you do it as a game together, like an interactive game. You can get lolly sticks and write the name of each scale that they have to do on a lolly stick, and then put all of the lolly sticks in a cup, and you can just have the cup next to your piano. And the way that you are helping them is by picking a lolly stick, and you say, right, I'll choose the scale, and then you have to play the scale that I pick. They love it. Or they can play this game with their siblings, or if they have a friend over on a play date, they don't need to stop their piano just because they have a friend. The friend can become part of their piano practice, and you say, how about your friend helps you with your scales? Yes? And their friend will hold the cup and they will pick, and they will have to read, I don't know, A minor, right hand. And as they play that scale, that lolly stick gets left out. Pick another one, I don't know, F major, left hand. Brilliant. And then your child will play that gets left out until they empty the whole cup and they've done the whole scales or arpeggios. Yes? So this is how you are helping them. It doesn't mean that you have to teach, but it means that you are interacting with them. Once you build this in the first couple of years of the children doing it, then you are inculcating good habits. And as they get older, naturally, they will then want that space. Like I said, they might ask for the piano to be moved to a quieter area of the house. They might want to close the door as they're practicing. But that's fine, because by now they've built up those good habits. They don't need you as much as they did. But in the beginning, help to encourage them in a positive way. With the pieces, you could listen out if they're playing their piece that the teacher has given them. Help them to try small chunks at a time. So if they're playing, you say, should you play fast or slow? How slow can you do it? How quiet can you do it? How loud can you do it? If the teacher has written down, I don't know, that they need to practice a particular section 10 times, it's going to be tough for anyone to do that. But you could be there and you could help them and say, oh, I wonder what it would sound like if you played it very smooth. And they'll play it for you. And they say, what if you played it really jumpy? Okay. What if you played all very, very loud? What if you played it all really, really soft? Or what if you start soft but gradually make it loud, or start loud and gradually bring it down to, playing softer? And just think of any other ways, and then discuss with them, which one did you like? Which one was your method? And then as you're doing the same game, say the next day, you can say, you know what, yesterday I preferred it when you played it loud, but today I think I preferred it when you play softer, and you can just pick, like, let's see which option you like the most on different days. Yes, you can give suggestions, they can give suggestions. So yes, it is an interaction in the beginning, yes. And then when they have finished, also encourage them. I forgot, this is important. Encourage them to take breaks. The children love it, you know. You don't want them to go on for more than half an hour without a break. So if you find that they've gone for more than half an hour, you say, darling, I brought you a drink. Just bring them a drink, a glass of water, anything. Just say, here, you've been going on for, you know, more than half an hour. Take a break, stand up, do some stretches. You can do a game together for stretching. I like the banana one. This is when you both stand up and you say, bananas of the world, and you're stretching, unite, and you clap your hands. And then you can lead it, or your child can lead it. You say, peel, peel, peel your banana, and your child will copy you. Peel, peel, peel your banana. And you can think of something else to do with the bananas. Mash, mash, mash your bananas. Mash, mash, mash your bananas. I don't know. Blend, blend, blend your bananas. And blend, blend, and they'll do this with you. They're kind of standing up, so they're doing your blend, blend, blend your bananas. Or you can do fry, fry, fry your bananas. Chop, chop, chop your bananas, and you can have some fun together. Love your bananas, or drink your bananas, and then at the very, very end, bananas of the world, unite. And then they will be ready to go back to their practice. So as a parent, your job is to be a positive encouragement. You are not there to be a policeman. You are not there to shout or tell them off. You're just there to help them inculcate good habits, okay? And yeah, I think if you follow these rules, it should be a good start. Yeah, so to recap, have the right instrument, have it in the right place of your house, depending on their age and which stage they're at. Choose a good teacher, one that will get on well with your child and with you, that can explain things to you. Make sure that you have the instrument in a place where you can help them, so you interact with your child when they're practicing. Have a timetable, so you go through that timetable together, which could change each day, but that's fine, and let them have a say about their timing. And when they're practicing, interact with them. Don't show them how to do it. Let them do it, and you just interact with them in a nice way. And finally, have some fun with them. You know, do the games like the banana one that I just showed you, or any stretches or anything. If there is a dance that you both like to do, you just say, oh, you've been going on for too long, let's do a little dance, and then you can continue again. It will help to bring you closer as a family. Music is all about fun. It's all about creativity. As Stage Talent, we hope to promote that, you know, build confidence, promote creativity, and then strive to be the absolute best that you can be. Thank you. I hope these tips help you as a parent, and also as a teacher, you might want to share these tips with your prospective parents. Thank you for watching.